from, in fact, actually all of them, they have to come from a divine, ethereal presence and intelligence. A spiritual download, you might say. So sometimes when we get those downloads, or at least for myself, and I'm going to talk about myself, and see if you can't see some of your life in my tale of excitement and woe and discovery. So we have an idea and we followed it. We may be sitting in our chair, in our bed, sipping our cup of coffee, reading the paper, and all of a sudden, ding! We get an idea about doing something or creating something, or something at work. There's a situation, you need to figure out how to solve a problem. And you're doing something so outside of what that problem is creating or is coming from, so you're not part in that, you're doing something else, and that's where those downloads come from a lot of times. At least I know it does for me. I'll be doing something so outside that it has nothing to do with where my problem is, but somehow what I'm doing over here causes something to get an idea or a spark to solve the situation that's going over here. I had a situation. I'm doing a very big job with, if anybody knows, I do sandblasting. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. And it pays well sometimes. But I've got to sandblast this tall ceiling, and I've got to climb ladders up and down, and then all of a sudden it hit me. There's PVC pipes where they're doing the gardening and doing the irrigation for the property. And I realized it fits perfectly on my nozzle. So here I get this 10-foot-long pole, sandblasting, and I'm able to do the ceilings without having to get up on the ladders. Again, here I am doing something, but somehow that spiritual download, there was a desire that I wanted, and even though I didn't do a prayer about it or sit down and do a thought about it, what we teach here is that thoughts create things. And so my desires, that thought of wanting to have a better way of doing my job, it came out of nowhere. Because why? We are constantly praying. We are constantly in connection with that divine self, that divine spirit. Sometimes there wasn't much help, but we keep going. Has there ever been a time when you wanted to do something, but people around you were poo-pooing it, saying, nah, that's not going to work. I'm not into that. You're crazy for having that type of an idea. I have those ideas an awful lot. Some work, some don't. But have you ever had those type of ideas where you've confided in somebody or let somebody know that you were wanting to do something and they're looking at you like you're absolutely nuts? You know, that does happen. But that doesn't mean that your idea is any less valuable. When you stay connected to that divine ideal of what you want to expect and want to create, you're staying in the flow of the universe, of spirit, not allowing those around you who don't grasp the whole idea of what you're expressing, so they don't have the context upon which you're thinking. But you stay steadfast and true to that divine ideal in each and every one of you. When that idea manifests, you'll never know where you'll be. Exactly. You could be in the bed with that cup of coffee in the morning, and that comes to you. You could be stuck in traffic. And usually some of those ideas aren't what we're going to talk about today. But you know what I'm talking about. But it's amazing. I love how this philosophy teaches me to be aware of my thoughts. Has there ever been a time where you've amazed yourself at the thoughts that have come in and created that divine energy of creativity? And it came from absolutely nowhere. You didn't have to plan it. You didn't have to write it down on your calendar. It just came down because you're open and receptive to that divine ideal of yourself. Apple got started in a garage. So we're talking about where things come from. You don't have to be in a high-rise building or a super genius to have great ideas. Apple got started in a garage. Or it could be today's version of a manger. When you come from spiritual principle, you don't need to rely on others people's influences or opinions. When you stay true to yourself and you keep making that forward march like Dr. Joe was talking about, and you put one foot in front of the other, yes, you will soon be out the door creating a great life. Me, myself, and I. In other words, it's the three wise men. You know, believe me, all aspects of myself, like a diamond, each facet of myself definitely has an ideal about what I'm going to be doing that day. Some are great ideas, some aren't. But it's always fun to see how my day is unfolding. Yesterday, Elizabeth and myself, we went out four-wheeling. We went over basically from the backside of Indio and went over into Yucca. Now, originally, she wasn't going to go with me, but we had a few friends go with us, and we just had a nice little time. Just getting out into the wilderness and coming into seeing all the rocks and stuff like that as you went over the mountains over into Yucca. It's absolutely beautiful. My idea is divine intervention. People not supporting you are like the innkeepers. So my talk today is like the birth of Jesus, of that Christ ideal. I'm showing you this because that idea of Christ consciousness is every single day life. You can see the continuity of that story. I'm sure you can see it in your own life. Because I can see it in my own life, and we are all one. That must mean that a lot of us can see this type of information or this type of story in our own lives. And that's what I'd like to talk to you today about, is to see that divine ideal of the birth of Christ to be the birth of your own ideas. Every day is Christmas. Christ is love. Isn't that what Dr. Joe was talking about? Christ is the manifestation of love. Mass or form. I was thinking Christmas, huh? Oh, Mass. Mass is another word for form. So through love, I'm creating form. The Christ consciousness is creating from love. So every day, I'd like for you to live in that Christmas spirit. Seeing Christmas not just as a holiday for this time of year, but it's a way of life. Just like I say, God is, I am. That's my phrase. That's my quickest prayer that I can do. Godisium. God is, I am. So I want Christmas to be that Christ consciousness, that love that you have for yourself and for others, and to express that love to all around. And it becomes form in mass. Not a little bit, in mass. Thank you very much. Now it's Dr. Dale and Dr. Laura.
Actually, we're going to take you into a little meditation right now, so I'm going to invite you just to take a moment, relax, and close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Let's take a breath of air in. And as we exhale, just taking a moment to be mindful. We spend so much time looking at the outside world and judging it, reacting to it, commenting, opinioning on it. But right now, let's turn away from that and move into the inner sanctuary of our heart and soul. And let's see what's going on there. take a moment and use your imagination to see a flame burning in your heart, a flame of love that can never be put out. It is something that burns eternally inside of all of us. And as you gaze upon that sacred flame, allowing it to burn away anything that does not serve you, anything that stands in the way of that divine essence of love, of peace, of joy that you all are. And just feeling the empowerment, the expansion of your energy that results from your seeing that flame of love. And as we just relax into this energy of life that we are, seeing now what is possible for us to dream into, the divine idea that is calling out to us that maybe we haven't been paying attention to, that is trying to get our attention, because that divine idea is coming from on high. And that on high is spirit. That on high has an intention for us to live a greater reality, to live from love, to live from that which is beckoning us to move beyond the smallness of life, the pettiness, to move into that wholeness and that fullness that is always present inside of us. And so as we take another breath of air in and exhale, just take a moment for yourself right now and let whatever wants to speak to you from spirit to speak loud and clearly to you. And so what I know in this moment, this precious moment where love is showing up so powerfully for all to lean into, to open up to invite into the experience of life, to recognize that everything is spirit unfolding, everything is spirit coming to the surface to be recognized and manifested in form as love. As I recognize the fullness and the wholeness of life in this beautiful moment, I see spirit in me, as me, expressing by means of me. And I see the same for all gathered here today in the room and online. Because what I know as truth is that there is a flame of love that is burning brightly all the time inside of us. And as we activate its presence in every moment of every day, we are more powerful in this journey of life that we are all in together. And to be able to see the interconnectivity of all souls worldwide, beyond the world, the universe, all one thing that is love divine. And so I know today, as this beginning of the holiday, that no matter what is going on in our world, what is present in the inner world for all of us is God. To be able to feel the comfort if it is needed at this time, to feel the energy of what is ready to be created by us coming into our awareness, the time to say, yes, yes, it's time. And so I know that as we gather together in this room today, there is a life that is being born, an idea that is ready to be nurtured and manifested, a relationship that we're ready to step into, especially a relationship with the self. The self is love, the self is divine, the self as infinite creative potential that we're ready to claim as ours because it is there. And so I know that as we just open ourselves up to something greater, that the greater comes through, and we're ready to be living in love more consistently, and to see love in ourselves, love in our fellow man and women, love in the world, because when we focus on that, that is what comes forward. And so as I stand in gratitude for all this life that is just bubbling to the surface, love divine, love that is everywhere present, love that is the giving spirit of God that knows how to fill up the empty spaces with its life, whatever that looks like. I'm so very grateful to recognize that is what is being born today for all to embrace and embody and live into and accept. And so knowing that we are ready just to allow this life force to manifest its good in all areas of our lives, I release my word as law, knowing the law is manifesting it all in the perfect way and time for all. And so knowing this prayer is complete, I release, I let go, as we say together, and so it is. Breath of air in, and as we exhale, go ahead and open your eyes, and I will continue now with my talk. Thank you, Reverend William. So it's no secret to anybody in this room that I was raised Jewish, and we didn't do Christmas in our house, and that was okay, because I'm still part of this humanity. I'm still part of the culture that we all live in that has Christmas and Hanukkah and all this good stuff. And something that I love about the Christmas season is all the different movies and television shows that are there for us to celebrate the Christmas season and what it means to us. I mean, we have everything from Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. There is something for everybody. Well, when I was a little girl growing up, the something that was there for me was How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That was mine. That was mine. And I didn't even realize until I was thinking about my talk that this story actually provided me with a spiritual transformation. I didn't know what that was going on at age 6 or 7 when I first fell in love with this Christmas story. You see, for me as a Jewish girl growing up, I felt alienated at Christmas time because I felt that I was outside of the whole ritual of it all. There was no Christmas tree in our home. There wasn't the excitement about the 12 days of Christmas. We didn't celebrate, the reindeer and all that good stuff that comes with the Christmas holiday. I mean, we had Hanukkah, and that was wonderful. But like the Grinch, I looked down and I was like, that Christmas, why aren't I a part of that? And I tried to get my mom and dad to do it. I was like, I really want Christmas. And I bugged them so much. I think I was like 5 years old. I was like, I really want Christmas. And they were so sweet. One year they put, my sister and I both got Christmas presents that they put at the fireplace of our house. And I was like so excited because I was like, yay, this is the year we get Christmas. And really we didn't. We just had a present to open. And it was fun, but there was no eggnog, there was no Christmas tree, and they just did it the one year and that was it. We never got it another year. But I still had that alienation. There was just something so magical and special about Christmas that I felt wasn't available to me. So How the Grinch Stole Christmas was a great lesson for me in how to change my energy around this perception of me being outside of something that was so wonderful and heart-fulfilling. So I had to refresh my memory this week about the story of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, because I wanted to make sure I got the whole thing. So as you know, the Grinch just didn't like what was going on in Whoville with Christmas. And he devised a plan to take away Christmas from them. He wanted to steal that Christmas holiday, and the way in which he was going to do it was to steal their stuff, right? Steal the Christmas trees, steal the presents, steal the wreaths, steal it all, and then they wouldn't have no Christmas. And that little girl in me was like, yeah, let's steal Christmas from them Grinch. Let's take it away from them. I don't want anybody having Christmas. If I can't have it, no one can have it. I'm embarrassing myself right now because this is this inner demon that I had going on. But it's good. There's an aspect of self for all of us to embrace here. So that's how I felt about Christmas. Yeah, and I was so, yeah, let's go, Grinch. And that poor little dog, I was watching the show. The poor dog. I got to just, a shout out for Max the dog. I was like, that poor little dog. And I remember as a kid, I was always so worried about the dogs. You know, talk about like childhood anxiety. It's like that poor dog, and he's whipping it, and he's doing this. How is that dog dragging that sleigh up that hill? It's like a Chihuahua dachshund, you know? But the magic of animation, of course. So, back to the story. So you've got the Grinch, and he does his thing, and then you've got the Epiphany. And that's when he sees this. He's teetering on the edge, right? His sleigh is like teetering on the edge. The dog is swinging around, and he hears the music, and he's going, how can there be music and joy when all their stuff is up here in my sled? And he sees this, and he sees the light. He sees that it is not about the stuff. It is not about the Christmas cookies. It is not about the trees. It is not about the wreaths. It's not about the toys. It's about the love and the interconnectivity of people. Heart to heart, hand to hand. That's what this is really about. The Christmas stuff is just icing on the cake, but what's at the heart of it, right? It's the love. It's the love. And I love one of my favorite parts of the show is when they show that x-ray of his heart, and it's really tiny, and then it gets 3 times bigger, and it breaks the x-ray. That was my spiritual epiphany at age 7, because I thought, oh my God, his heart got so big. And in my little brain, it was like that heart getting big was so much more fulfilling than the angry Grinch. I mean, I loved the angry Grinch. That was fun. It was hot energy. But the love, that was much better to feel than that energy of jealousy or anger or resentment. Love just takes it all over and dissolves it. And so my big learning from Christmas, and sometimes I still have to remind myself about it because some of that stuff can trigger me back into the, oh, poor pitiful me in this place. No, it drags me back to saying, no, it's about love. And all these wonderful people, you guys here, and my spiritual family, you know, they don't care that I'm Jewish. They bring me into the Christmas spirit with their love. And I know they have their family traditions, but it doesn't matter. That's our family stuff. It's all about just staying in this energy. And Reverend William talked about, you know, what does Christmas mean anyways? It means the birth of this spiritual idea, what he was talking about. The birth of a spiritual idea of man being spiritual. Because when we're in the energy of jealousy or anger or disconnect, that's not a spiritual place to be. That's a really low level of primitive survival energy. That's not who we really are. But when the Christmas story comes to be, it's reminding us of who we really are, that we're bigger than that. Even in How the Grinch Stole Christmas, in his epiphany, he says, wow, Christmas is bigger than what he thought because it's not about things. It's about a love. It's about a spiritual love that is bigger than this whole world of physical reality is concerned. And this is the Grinch. This is the Grinch at the end of the story. I mean, what a perfect thing, right? It's such the most brilliant story. It starts with that conflict, that angst, and it ends in the spiritual realization of oneness, of love, of nobody is outside of the circle. We're all in it together. And cultures and traditions do not separate us. They don't. And this whole Christmas story made me very grateful for what I did have, because as I was being that Grinch looking down and saying, this is what I don't have, I had to ask myself, Dill, what did you have? I had a table full of relatives around the Hanukkah table, passing the applesauce, the latkes, the love, the family. That was my Christmas. And I was able to look at it and say, I may not have that, but look what I had there. I had a love poured on me, a different way, but a love that's just as real and substantial as the Christmas story. And so I just wanted to share my love for our gathering here today on this Christmas Eve holiday, and going beyond the traditions and coming to what really matters. What's at the center of this is simply love, living in love, letting the Christmas love go beyond Christmas. Take it into the rest of the year. Keep that love alive. You know, the Christmas consciousness, Christ consciousness, isn't born and dies. It's born to live. This is just its birth. And so I invite you all with me to set the intention this year, to bring this birth of love divine into this whole year. Let it develop, let it grow, let it mature, let it bring us all into a better way of living as one. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Dr. Dale. And in the name of inclusivity, I'd like to say Merry Christmahana Kwanzaa Don. I've been working on that. We're trying to streamline it to make sure we don't miss anybody. I have to work in Festivus, but that maybe next year. So our first song was about Santa Claus coming to town. This one's about love coming to town. I was a sailor, I was lost at sea, under the waves before love rescued me. I was a fighter, I could turn on the thread, but not stand accused of the things I said. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that plane. Maybe I was wrong to ever put you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. Used to make love under the wet sunset. I was making promises I would soon forget. She was as pale as lace on a wedding gown, but I left her standing before love came to town. I went to a juke joint when I heard the guitar scream. The notes were turning blue and I was dazing in a dream. The music played, I saw my life turn around. That was the day before love came to town. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that plane. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that train. Maybe I was wrong to ever put you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. I'm gonna catch that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that train. Maybe I was wrong to ever put you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. I was there when they crucified my Lord. I held the scabbard while the soldier drew his sword. I threw the dice as they pierced his side, but I've seen love conquer the great divide. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that plane. Maybe I was wrong to ever put you down, but I did what I did before love came to town.
In our defense, we got the call. We were on the gig last night, and we were trying to figure out between sets how we were going to make this work. And thanks for accepting us as we are.
Life's really worth, and there will be peace on I guess we are. All right. So I could. Oh. So anyway. We're good, Brian? Can I talk now? Do I need my mic or no? Okay. So anyway, my dad and I are driving, and I must have just lost a tooth because I said, Daddy, I said, is there really a tooth fairy? I was, and my dad goes, no, Laura, there's no tooth fairy. And I go, oh. Well, then is there an Easter bunny? And he goes, no, Laura, there's no Easter bunny. I mean, I don't know why he didn't lie to me. And I go, okay, there's no tooth fairy. See how smart I was and analytical even then? And I go, there's no tooth fairy and there's no Easter bunny? He goes, no. And I go, oh, God. I go, is there no Santa either? And he goes, no. And do you remember that innocence that you lost when you found out there was no tooth fairy, no Santa Claus, no Easter bunny? It's like Christmas was never the same. I mean, I knew I was going to get presents, but it was never quite the same. And then when I grew up and I was older, my brother is 7-8 years younger than me. And I remember one Christmas, he was just little. He was, probably 4. And he said, Laura, can I sleep with you tonight? And I go, sure. He came in my bed, and he was sleeping with me. And he woke me up. He goes, Laura, I just saw Santa fly through the sky. And so at that moment, I go, really? Show me. Because I did not want to take that joy from him. You know, and because the joy I got was from watching him be so excited about Santa Claus. And, and I think that's, why do people rain on other people's parades or what have you? And, Christmas for me, being raised Catholic, was about peace and was about the love of Christ. And, of course, as I grew older, it's that Christ consciousness. Jesus Christ, what he really stands for is love. It doesn't matter what faith you are, he was about love. And what did he teach us? He taught us, here's this little baby born, in a horse shed, basically. Yeah, well, right? He was born in a horse shed, and he wound up, with a bunch of hay and, and other things on the ground besides hay. And yet here was this man that did so much for the world through his knowingness of his oneness with God. And what is God? God isn't the Father, isn't a man. It is divine love. It is energy. And that's what this season is all about, is to be reminding us of that love that we should have for each other and the gifts that we give. The joy is, yes, it's joy, it's wonderful. I don't care about presents anymore in this time of my life, but I care about the giving of them. I care, the fun is I have 2 granddaughters, 4 and 6, and their excitement and the joy that they get in this belief. And so I guess Christmas, if we really think about it, should be every day for us. It should be the reminder every day of the beauty of life, of the gifts that we get every day. Because every day that we're here on this earth in our bodies is a gift. Every person in our life is a gift. Even if they're annoying, it's a gift to remind you, oh, thank God I have the other one or whatever. And, you know, to really, really, really just every day is Christmas. Every day is the birth of a new day, of a new experience. Let's not take that for granted. And just like those little children in that song, let us hold that vision of someday there will be peace on earth, and be that peace every day. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. I love you all. Thank you for being here today. All right, so now we're going to do our big collection, our Christmas collection. You know, we like I said, we weren't even going to have Christmas service today, and then Dale and William were going to do it, and I was feeling guilty, and then I found out my kids aren't even going to be there, my grandchildren, until tonight. And I said, well, I can be here. I'll be here too, and I'm so glad I am to see all of you. So this is a time where you share your giving. Give us a Christmas gift for us, and for our beautiful band and all the people, too, that work here in the upkeep of this building. So our prayer, Ryan, let's say this together from that heartfelt place. I offer this gift with joy and gratitude. I receive freely and give freely, knowing the law of circulation is working perfectly in my life and the life of this center.
My mother said, be grateful, count the ways you are blessed. For there's always another who will have much less. Live each day as though it was your last. For tomorrow may never come, and yesterday has passed. Jesus, live your life with no regrets. Doesn't mean that you're weak. Turn the other cheek, forgive and forget. You will have a new life, and you'll sing a new song. You will have a new heart, right where His love belongs. If you trust in Him, trust in Him, trust in Him, for that is when your life begins. When you trust in Him. Mother's face, framed in ageless gold. You know you get back what you gave 10,000-fold for the truth comes in her ever faithful words and live on in anybody, everyone who has heard. Jesus, live your life with no regrets. Doesn't mean that you're weak. Turn the other cheek, forgive and forget. You will have a new life, and you'll sing a new song. You will have a new home right where his love belongs. If you trust in him, trust in him, trust in him, for that is when your life begins, when you trust in him.
A song by my dear friend, Ms. Brenda Burns.
You can see these great guys at Shanghai Reds on the weekend. Yeah, they're fabulous. And they've got great fish tacos, I just want to say. Anyway, so let's just bless our money now. We bless this collective offering and receive it with gratitude, knowing it is spirit in action. As this currency flows through our center and beyond, it blesses many lives, including my own. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So we're not going to do announcements, but I do have a quick one, or two of them, actually. You're happy we're not doing announcements? I don't blame you. Anyway, I just want to tell you, Christine Cummings on Tuesday is having her grief group, and that's at 4 o'clock over in the Ohm Room across the way. And then also, next Sunday, we will be taking down our poinsettia tree. So get ready to take some home, okay? Especially those of you that purchased them. But I'll be kind of sad to see that go. It's always so... It's such a tradition here, and it's so beautiful when you walk in. I remember that first day I came out of the office, and William had put them up, and they were so, him and Elizabeth had done such a beauty, especially William. I like this touch this year that you did. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to do a closing prayer. And again, the best of holidays. May this holiday be so special, as every day should be so special. So let's just take a deep breath in, recognizing that there is only one life, and that is the divine life. And that divine life expresses as you and as everyone. And so we feel it, we know it. We know that every thought, as Reverend Williams said, is a divine inspiration. And so we go about this day with our loved ones, with our friends, and this weekend, actually, with our loved ones, and in the memory of those that are not with us any longer, knowing that they're always with us. And so I am so grateful for this center, so grateful for each family member, really, of this family, this center. And knowing that all is well, knowing that everything this year and every day is unfolding for our highest and best good. And knowing that we are a part of that unfoldment, that we hold that consciousness of love, of giving, of seeing the divine in everything we do, every person we meet, everyone, we must remember that that too is an aspect of the divine. So knowing that this season is blessed and that it is a reminder to be that love, to be that peace. We leave here in that awareness grateful for each other, grateful for this center, grateful for this teaching that has elevated our consciousness, our awareness to that Christ consciousness of love, of oneness. Knowing that this is the truth, I release my word as the law, knowing that it is already done, that it is so. And together we say, and so it is. Have a great holiday, everyone. Love you mucho.
save me from this prison. Lord, help me get away. 'Cause only you can save me now from this misery. And I've been lost in my own place, and I'm getting weary. How far is heaven? And I know that I need to change my ways of living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? And I've been locked up way too long in this crazy world. How far is heaven? And I know that I need to change my ways of living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just got to know how far. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? Tú que estás en alto cielo, hazme tu bendición. And I know that I need to change my ways of living. How far is heaven? And I just got to have some faith and just keep on living. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me? How far is heaven? I just got to know how far. How far is heaven? Lord, can you tell me?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're the.
Ooh, hot fudge sauce. Uh-oh.
No, that's all right. We apologize. Thank you very much. Oh, right. But that's it's.